Welcome once again to the Losail International Circuit in Qatar. It's round 2 of the Asia Talent Cup in 2021, and the question on everyone's lips today is, can anyone stop Taiyo Furusato? The Japanese rider put on quite a show in round 1, but can he do it again? After a strong pre-season testing campaign, he was definitely the pre-race favourite ahead of last weekend, and the number 15 did not disappoint, winning race 1 by over 16 seconds and race 2 by a mere 9 seconds. Will his rivals have done enough homework in the 6 days since, though? Riders Hakim Danish, Gun Mie and Kanta Hamada took podiums here last weekend. But have they made the step up enough to shift Furusato off the top of his throne? Grab onto the edge of your seats, hold onto your hats. It's mighty windy out there, and the Asia Talent Cup is about to roll into action for round 2. Let's go racing here in Qatar. Hi there, welcome. We're at the Losail International Circuit once again. A bit of a sense of deja vu, only a bit more windy and dusty in the air. If you had been watching the other Grand Prix classes having their free practice sessions here this morning on your various broadcasters or maybe even MotoGP.com, well, you can see there the dust billowing off the tyres of the safety car. But the good news is we are going racing here despite the sort of wind troublesome effort out there. The riders are on the grid and we're getting ready for racing. My name's Matt Dunn. Alongside me as ever is Fran Wild, and Fran, I cannot wait for this one because, like with any ATC race, despite the domination of Taiyo Furusato a mere 6 days ago, I still have no idea who's really going to win this one. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you can see there
wow,
the wind we were mentioning. Yeah, you can hear it a little bit down the camera there, and you can see from the mechanics' shirts, pretty gusty down there. But this man, then, he is the headline grabber from round 1, Taiyo Furusato. 2 incredible wins last weekend, but as you say, it's never guaranteed in racing, and certainly not in the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup. He's very much got the pace advantage, but you never know what can happen when the lights go out. And there's a good cast of fast characters behind him as well, who, yeah, they've had a bit of time now to look through that data, try and do their homework and catch up. We'll have to see. We might get a bit of a Laguna 2008 style. Just got to get ahead of him and see what they can do. And this man, this time, will be trying to lead that fight as he is qualified second, Daniel Shariel, as he returns from injury. Impressive performance and a little bit further forward than where he was last weekend.
Yeah, absolutely right. Daniel Shariel, after the first 2 races, round 1 of the Asia Talent Cup, sits 7th in the championship standings, which I think after such a long recovery process from the 2018 series, he will definitely take that. Coming into this one, though, we have another Malaysian actually in 2nd spot in the championship standings. That is Hakim Danish. Not quite gone his way, though, so far this weekend. He lines up on the 4th row of the grid. What do you reckon about that, Fran? It's not all lost, surely?
No, I don't think it is. I mean, we saw in race 1 last weekend, he had a front row start and made absolutely nothing of it with a complete shocker. Gave himself a lot of work to do and still very much managed to arrive in that fight for the podium and take 3rd place. On Sunday, he made more of that front row to manage to get another podium with a little less work to do before getting to the group. But yeah, it's going to be interesting this week because he is one of the only guys who's a little bit further back than we saw. You know, Aditama's 4th, not quite the front row of last week. Thompson moves a little bit forward. Hamada's right there on the 2nd row. Gunmie, those guys who were on the podium last week. It's going to be pretty interesting. And this man, of course, he's been fast throughout 2021 so far, but he hasn't got any points on the board.
No,
and
absolutely.
I think that will be his biggest focus, as well as, yeah, a bit of silverware, but just getting some points.
Nothing to show for that pre-season speed, unfortunately, from Fadila Aditama. The Indonesian rider lines up once again near the head of the field, leading the 2nd row. What about Kanta Hamada? We saw him on the podium and take a win last year here at Qatar. Flattered to deceive in race 1 here last weekend, but race 2 certainly made up for it.
Yeah, definitely. As you can see on that graphic,
you can really
there,
hear the wind in the back of our headsets.
You really can, yeah. It's not. I keep thinking it's me breathing into the microphone, going a bit Darth Vader, but it's not. So there's Razlan Razali, then Petronas SRT team principal, and of course one of the most important men in Malaysian motorcycle racing as well. And he'll be there cheering on, I'm sure, all of his countrymen, and especially Hakim Danish. He came down to Park Ferme as well last week for him. But yeah, Hamada hadn't had the pace before the lights went out for race 2 when we saw what we kind of expected from the start. So that's good to see him back up there, and we'll see what he can do today. And the man that was just on your screen, Gunmie, he's been pretty solid throughout and been fighting for that podium. There was only a thousandth that he won one of the one of the battles by last week. So definitely no shortage of close competition here. But yeah, it's going to be another good race, I think.
Rei Wakamatsu, a bit of a mixed bag for him last weekend as well. Wiped out by Adila Fatitama, unfortunately, in that first race. For Adila Fatitama, I should say.
I was going to say, you've moved an F around there a little bit.
We've sorted that one out. Here is the starting grid, though, as we head into this race. Tayo Furusato on pole position. Daniel Sharil, sorry, I should say, alongside him from Carter Thompson, the pocket rocket from down under, there on the first row of the grid. Fadila Aditama there in 4th place from Kanta Hamada and Gunmie. Then Rei Wakamatsu, Marianos Nicolas and Herlian Dandy there in 9th place as well. Plenty of local riders as well here from Qatar. They'll be hoping for some better luck after not quite the results they would have hoped for last time as well. Lacan down there in 20th spot, Fran. That's not something I would have expected. Bit of a surprise performance last week.
Yeah, I think there's a few riders that'll be a little bit disappointed with their qualifying, but a couple more to, just give a shout out. 10th place is local rider Hamad Al Sahuti. That's a really solid result for him, moving up a little bit. Hakeem Danish the other way, a bit of a surprising 11th, so we'll have to keep an eye on him when the lights go out, see if he can make some progress. And Marianos Nicolas in that 8th place, that's really solid from the Australian rookie. He seems very, very keen to really get his teeth in and make the most of this experience. We did a workshop on Wednesday in between these 2 rounds with Accenture, one of the Cup's partners, and he was hand straight up, really taking part, taking it seriously. It's great to see all of these guys really keen to learn from this experience in the Asia Talent Cup, and it's great to see already some of those rookies gaining a bit of traction, and especially obviously Hakeem Danish already 2 podiums in. Yeah,
very impressive that. I tell you what though, one person didn't really mention already though, Sharil. I half mentioned him accidentally at the start, but he lines up heading the 5th row of the grid, 13th spot, and for a rider who is ahead of the exactly same name, Daniel Sharil, in the championship standing. 6th place is Sharil. That's not quite what he would have expected either.
Yeah, he's another one. I should have given him a little shout out there as well. Yeah, a little bit out of position maybe, but we'll see, because conditions have been different this weekend. It's the same man on pole, but the pole time is about 1.1 seconds slower, which we did double check just before we began this broadcast, so accurate numbers here. So yeah, it could play, change it up a little bit from last weekend, but Furusato's got to be going into this still very much the man to beat.
Very, very confident indeed. Well, this is not the start of the race exactly. We're waiting for the riders to take off on their warm-up lap to gauge the conditions, because they've not been out since these conditions have really, really changed. They had their qualifying session this morning. That's where all these times have come from. And it was quite windy out there, but I think it's really taken a step up since we've actually arrived to the circuit, hasn't it? So the fastest lap times that we actually had, well, Tayo Furusato's pole position time was a 2-minute 12.9, which compared that to last weekend is decidedly rather slow.
Yes, it is. But I mean, these guys, at least they have also had all the Grand Prix classes out on track since they qualified. But, with the wind as it is, I'm sure any sand that's moved is immediately replaced by the breeze.
You can just pay attention to the rear tyres there, I mean, as they're all on line pretty much, as Carter Thompson's out front. You can see the dust coming off them. So, yeah, got to be very, very careful. This is probably the toughest conditions these guys have ever faced, you'd say. Even tougher than the blisteringly hot conditions they had a week ago now on round 1's Saturday's race.
Yeah, it was very, very hot last weekend for race 1. But this weekend a little bit cooler, but yeah, that wind is going to be the bigger challenge, and the dust on circuits. So it's going to be interesting. Thompson's really gone for the Jorge Lorenzo approach to this warm-up lap, hasn't he? Just absolutely disappearing.
Or the Romano Fenati approach, you could say.
Indeed. Well,
circa 2012.
I'd say one has a slightly higher profile globally.
I beg to differ.
Both have, yes, most definitely done that before. Not sure who's at the back going to make them all wait, Casey Stoner style. We'll find out when we start lining up. But so far so good then on this warm-up lap. And yeah, it'd be a good chance to just have a quick judge of conditions. But Thompson, yeah, very brave there at the front there, full gas.
If you're new here to watching the Age of Talent Cup, this is the very start of the Road to MotoGP programme for our Asian and Oceanic competitors and hopefuls of a MotoGP career in the future. These riders, the best ones, get a trip over to Europe to compete in the likes of the European Talent Cup and eventually the Moto3 Junior World Championship, with the hopes of them moving up to the Moto3 World Championship as well. Plenty of riders now gracing Moto3, Moto2 grids from these regions. It's definitely a worthwhile project.
Yeah, most definitely. Like you said, there's some good steps on from the ATC, ending up in the World Championship, and I believe one of those who's taken those steps may be our dignitary for the podium.
Ooh!
Spoilers! So we'll find out.
We'll see them as Fran Wild heads out onto the podium and her visor and goggles get blown into the dignitary's face. Kidding, of course. Well then, so riders lining up on the grid then. We're about to go racing. The number 15 of Taio Furusato, all expectation is on his shoulders here today. Can he make it 3 from 3 here at the Losail International Circuit in 2021? I'm pretty sure he must think so, but there are many other riders, 22 of them in fact, well 21 other riders who want to take that mantra from him. The revs will go up, the adrenaline is about to spike, heart rate's peaking almost, the lights will go on and we'll be going racing. It's round 2 of the Age of Talent Cup, race 1 here on Saturday, and it's go, and it's a class start once again from Taio Furusato, textbook, but look at that, Daniel Sharil slots straight in to the slipstream on the run down towards turn 1, and they've already got a bike length or 2 in hand to the number 3 just behind them. That is Fadila Aditama. Are we all safely through turn 1? Well, the leaders certainly are, but you've got to be very careful if you're going offline. Carter Thompson up the inside of Aditama there into turn 2, and now we switch towards turn 3. All safely through at the moment though.
Yeah, all safely through for Furusato. Another great start, but this man, the number 21 of Daniel Sharil, right behind him this time. I think he's going to go for it, is he? No, not quite yet, but he was looking especially racy behind the number 15 in race 2 last weekend as well. I think he knows that he just has to interrupt the rhythm of Furusato and not let him get away. So we'll have to see when he's going to strike.
Yeah, we did get very close to the back there. Carter Thompson nearly hitting the back of Dan Sharil. Oh, we have got riders down already. One chopping mad at his fellow competitor there. I could not tell who that was, but thankfully they are both up and okay. I'm sure we'll get a graphic on our screen telling us who that was in very shortly. Good news for the guys, Fran. Furusato has not yet escaped.
He has not, so that is very good news. Yeah, and it looks like Sharil is getting ever
Carter
closer.
Thompson had a big moment there.
Oh yeah, a bit of a wobble there, but yeah, Sharil really stalking the number 15 ahead of him then now, and we'll have to see. I don't think it's going to be very long at all until the Malaysian tries to strike, but not sure that start-finish straight though. Furusato will probably be able to hit right back if he strikes soon in the latter part of the lap, so just got to keep an eye on that. This is already getting feisty though in the fight for third.
Yeah, I just saw there going into turn 10, number 13, Hakim Danish, qualified down on the 4th row of the grid, an 11th spot, did not care for the lack of grip on the inside line going into turn 10. He was full lean making an overtaking move. How his front end didn't let go, I have no idea, but fair play that man, what a move. He is already up to 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th place.
I was wondering if we were going to manage that quick enough. I was like, oh, he started at 1. Yeah, really impressive progress then from Danish. We thought we'd probably see it because we've seen him able to get past people last weekend and make good progress, but yeah, very much then back in contention for the podium. And Sharil then, is he going to manage to make that move into turn 1? He's certainly pulling out. It will be a contest then on the brakes.
Yeah, look at that. That is a real potential spanner in the works for Furusato's ambitions. We got our screens partly blocked here, so we can't quite see what's happening. This is very unfortunate indeed, but we believe Furusato's still in the lead. Yes, I guess so. There we are. We can see again. Thank goodness. There we are. Furusato then, it maintains the lead, but he's not got away. 1 lap and he's not there. So they have done their homework. Who's this coming up the inside? We're on board with Danish, looking up the inside for 4th position, but not quite making up the inside of Gunmayer that time around. Looks like Hamada on his outside too.
Yeah, Hamada then, did he just go all the way around the outside there,
did.
the Malaysian? I think he did, so that's nice stuff then from the number 8. Shariel looking a little bit squiggly in there, obviously pushing pretty hard to stay on the back of Furusato, but yeah, at the moment there's no big gap like we saw last week, someone pretty wide out there. That was the number 17,
Hongo,
which is Messiah Hongo, so he had a jump start last week, no such problems this week, which is good to see. But it was Lakhon and Yusuf Al-Darwish then, the 2 riders that crashed out earlier. Sorry, you just pointed out.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to find out who they were. No, I didn't. I was still trying to look down the names, so that's a real bummer
there
for
we
the
go.
Qatar
A move
rider.
for the lead. So
Wow.
is he going to respond immediately? No. Furusato sits in behind Daniel Shariel. So this is the first time that anyone else has led here at Losail, I think, if memory serves.
This year, yes.
This year, yes.
Absolutely. Daniel Shariel then leads an Asia Talent Cup race once again. Unfortunately, we've just lost image, so we can't. There we are. We got it back again. He's already got a couple of bike links out. Wow, how about this then from the Malaysian? I'm sure all the Malaysian fans back home watching, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube or your local broadcaster, must be over the moon to see this. What a sight.
Yeah, it's a great narrative, isn't it? Such an awful crash and such a long time coming back from it, and here he is back in the lead of a race back where he left off in 2018. But Furusato then, this is a bit of a different challenge for him, different test of nerve. Can he battle it out with these guys? Because Shariel has certainly made more progress away in the lead of this race, and those guys have really caught onto the number 15. He's not been able to stay with him.
No, but they are seemingly just starting to catch up Daniel Shariel as well as he punches a big hole in the air. Well, Furusato's been pushed way back now. 5th place he is. You must be thinking, hang on, what's going on here? And Fran, if you cast your mind a year ago, as there was some brutal moves there, that was Carter Thompson up the inside of the former race leader now, who's been pushed back to, I think, 6th place nearly.
That's crazy scenes if you looked at the races last weekend, but great to see it. Really good group battle here for the win then, and it's Gunmie in the driving seat at the moment, as it were. I think Shariel though, yeah, he's already trying to fight back. Oh, don't push it too far. There's 12 laps still to go.
There's a lot of dust down on the asphalt.
But yeah, we've got a really close classic group fight then here, and also a couple of riders who aren't that far away. If these guys really start fighting, they might be able to join this battle as well. I think that's Wakamatsu and Aditama, is it, in the background? Yeah, the number 2 and 3.
Oh, those two have history from race 1 as well. This is a notification from the FIM MotoGP stewards. Incident involving Lakhon and Al-Darwish to be reviewed after the race. We can concentrate on this one fully. Mie in the lead from Daniel Shariel. So, Fran, this is really interesting. 1 year ago, Furusato found himself in the leading group, battling all race long, came out the final corner in 1st place and lost the win both times. Now, he came out the final corner for the last 2 races in 1st, but fortunately had so much daylight between them. Yeah, no one could catch him. This is what happened down at turn 4 between Lakhon and Al-Darwish. Up the inside and...
Yeah, not the best, cleanest move there. But at least they're both up and okay straight away. Yeah, a bit of a... That's where we join the replay then, at the genuinely hopping mad. But good to see they're both okay, and we'll see then what comes of that investigation. Not so clear from that replay when there's so many bikes, so I'm sure the stewards will be doing a bit of a rewind, fast forward rewind on that one. So Gunmie then still in the lead, a little bit of a gap there as well. But yeah, you were saying Furusato was not fighting it in the group last year and actually lost out, did preemptive Juan Mir for Furusato last year. So it will be interesting to see what he does now that, yeah, he doesn't have that incredible gap that he enjoyed last weekend in round 1. And it's yeah, classic ATC then, 3-4 abreast as we barrel down into turn 1. Who's going to come out on top? Danish making a move there. Not sure who it is that's going to shuffle out.
Keeps a very tight line there, just behind Mie. That was tiny, but Hamada on his outside, incredibly good still in turn 1. Hamada could just run a little wider line, much faster. It's essentially like he's on a velodrome on a bicycle, that much quicker.
Mighty through turn 1 is the number 8. But Furusato then is the man who emerges from the start-finish straight shuffle in the lead. But Shariel quick to hit back. I think the Malaysian is very aware that even though they've not, you know, had too much trouble staying with him so far, it's never a good idea to give him the lead of the race at Losail.
Yeah, completely agree with you there, Fran. And Shariel looking characteristically now out of control almost down into turn 6. Got to so happy to just let the bike move underneath him. Really well, when you think about how much taller he is this time around than he was when he was previously in the Asia Talent Cup, I don't think he was quite so able to do that when he was a bit shorter in stature.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular to watch, isn't it? There's a good few wobbles and moments, but kind of a cool, out of control way of being in control, I think, is his style at the moment, Daniel Shariel. But there you can see then everyone on the chase. This group still pretty much stuck together. And yeah, Furusato not then too keen to immediately attack back. But I don't know, it's an interesting game of chess, this. And Shariel and the other guys in this group, Mie, Hamada, Danish, Thompson as well, just at the back of it at the moment, they're doing a good job to manage to not slow each other up too much, and no one's been able to get away.
What is the pace looking like at the moment? It's a 2:14 best lap then last time around, so the pace is significantly slower than it has been, well, this weekend and last weekend, you could say. You've got to put that really down to the very strong winds and lack of grip with the dust out there as well. But Fran, I'm quite surprised we haven't seen, touch wood, touching my head, more front end swash outs from these guys despite these conditions out on track. Impressive handling already. Looks like Furusato pulling out the slipstream for the lead, but how long will that last? Because these guys are well in the slipstream zone as well, weaving all over the racetrack, dust being flung everywhere on the run down to turn one. Who's going to get the run? Is it Hakim Denish looking down into turn one? No, Furusato round the outside. That was absolutely superb.
That was a bit brutal, wasn't it? Yeah, there's a lot of weaving that time around. No nice clean line as they all followed the leader. So, but fastest lap then from Wakamatsu. So he is just, yeah, he's the number 2 there, just tagging onto the back of this 6-rider train that's been at the front. And Adatama then obviously been dropped. You can see there with the green helmet, the number 3, and a bit of clear air now. Probably, I'd say, playing it a little bit safer after his difficult weekend last time with 0 points. And he's got a track limits warning, so maybe needs to play it even safer.
Yeah, cheeky, Mr. Adatama, but at least this is, well, it's as far as he's got so far in the championship, so good for him. It's nice to be seeing that. He's not exactly far off the lead, is he? So
yeah, it's a very respectable, impressive performance. But yeah, it'll be good if he can get some points on the board, I'm sure, for his confidence after a difficult round 1. But I think it's then Furusato still at the lead of this train, isn't it? That orange helmet, yeah, it is the number 15.
Away though.
And it's Shariel still on his tail. So I'm sure the number 21 will be keeping a keen eye on the gap between them. And at the moment, it's still very much glued to the rear wheel.
He did have a look up the inside there into turn 10, but the Furusato did take such a wide line to really square off that exit up towards and through turn 11. This is turns 12, 13 and 14, the triple right-hander. These guys never really get the bikes completely upright. Well, no Grand Prix class does through this section of track. These guys all still together at the moment. So you've got a Japanese rider leading from a Malaysian, another Japanese rider, and then another Malaysian. Then you've got an Aussie moving up the inside of Gun Mie as well.
He had a big wobble there, Carter Thompson, just in the background. That was nicely, yeah, it was nicely held though. He didn't lose out too much, like you say, moved back up the inside there to slot back in where he'd been. Bit of a warning shot, but he does have now the start-finish straight to just take a deep breath and calm it down. Ready for a little bit more war from turn 1 onwards, I'm sure. So let's see then. Furusato starts the straight in the lead. I think he's going to cross the line in the lead as well. Yeah, by half a tenth then as they go over the line. But into turn 1, it will probably be another story. Is anyone? No, no one is able to attack the number 15 then.
That's you told then, Fran, figuratively speaking, but it is a huge group that we have here. So Wakamatsu, it did indicate a bit of a break for that the group had left him behind potentially at one of the sectors, judging by our timing screens, but no, 2 minutes 13 at 0.5 once again. So the man on the move definitely is Rei Wakamatsu, the number 2 in the back of your shot there, but still in the driving seat, Furusato.
Yeah, very much. And Wakamatsu, of course, gets that nice, massive hole punched in the air with those guys ahead of him on the start-finish straight to help him keep in touch. But doesn't seem like he needs too much help to keep in touch now. Very comfortably on the back of this train. But I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens here, especially if Furusato knows that he was still ahead over the line. Are we going to have a 2020 replay special?
Oh, well, that indicates, well, we've still got 9 laps to go. We're not even halfway through this first Asia Talent Cup race.
Sorry, I'm just eager, okay?
It's still a way to go. That's just under 20 minutes or so of racing left. Probably over it, actually, a little bit, given it's a 2 minute 13 or so lap time from these riders. We have another fall. That's not Hamada, is it? Please, no. It's no, I don't think it is.
Don't think it is. No, yeah.
Same helmet.
Yeah, very similar helmet. Is that? Oh, he's just going to have overcooked it, is he?
Yes,
on the
a little
exit.
bit.
Oh, unfortunate.
An uncomfortable looking crash, but thank
Yeah,
you, up
very
and
much.
okay, that's the main thing. Look at this round then. Furusato and Daniel Sharil have made a bit of a break from the chasing Kanta Hamada. He's still there. That's not going to be enough down the start and finish straight. This is turn 15, then they've got the sweeping right-hander. Turn 16 onto the start and finish straight once again. Now, will Furusato and Sharil have enough daylight between them to not be passed down into turn 1?
I'm not so sure about turn 1. I'm really interested to see over the line as well. I think this time Sharil maybe is a little bit closer. He's staying really tucked in there until the last minute and then pulling out. So let's see over the line. I think it's going to be Sharil this time.
No, it was not.
Was it not? No, it wasn't. Sorry, my depth perception all off there, going down the start finish straight. And Furusato then so strong.
Oh, blimey! Who was that going extremely wide, clipping the rear wheel?
I'm not sure. It's hard to tell with these
it was
helmets.
number 5. It was
No.
Gun Mie, and I think it could have been Hakim Danish as well.
Yeah, I think they both got caught up in that a little bit. So they set the fastest lap and then did the classic, what you see quite a lot in MotoGP qualifying, when they just run on into turn 1, like gave everything I had.
Moto 2, yeah,
True.
just completely forget the braking marker.
But yeah, so that was a little bit previous there around turn 1, but no harm done, except that there is now a bit of a bigger gap there. 15 and 21 starting to escape. Hamada looking fairly solid there on the chase, and then a little bit scrappy from these guys just behind the number 8.
Oh, I'd love to get a replay of that, because that was pretty spectacular and a very, very tense moment, not least for all those guys there. May need a change of levers after that one for that.
I was watching Furusato and the impressive braking around there to keep it together, and then you just woo, and yeah, quite the drama there.
Yeah, down into turn 1. Scary stuff for these guys, but they're fierce, and that was Sharil looking up the inside of Furusato once again. Notice their difference in lines that they prefer around turn 10 to get a clean run out on towards turn 11. It looks like every time Sharil's taking a big peek at the inside. Is he actually going to make a move? No, but what about into turn 12? He's looking up the inside of Furusato again. Yes, he does go for the move. Look at that corner speed he's carrying there. Huge stuff from the rather now relatively tall Malaysian rider.
Yeah, that was a nice move.
Just completely wide. No regard for track limits from Hamada.
No track limits there for the number 8 at all, but you are allowed to do that. If it's a mistake, you're okay. It's when you do it repeatedly when you're not okay, but you can see that he's lost a bit of momentum to the two guys behind him, which are Wakamatsu and Thompson. But yeah, nice move then from Sharil to take the lead again. Be interesting to see how these tactics play out, because I think the Malaysian, I don't know, he seems to have the pace to stay with the number 15, but he also seems pretty eager to lead.
Yeah, maybe he thinks that their pace together will be substantially better than that of their chasers. Good to see. He's looking all the way back down the home straight. Okay, it's 1.2-ish kilometres long, but still many a rider still well within sight. As Furusato takes the lead once again, or does he? Because Sharil looks up the inside and Furusato cuts his nose off, says, if you're going to want to go up the inside, you're going to have to sit on the curb, sunshine. And that gives him now a bit of breathing space from between the number 15 and the 21.
Yeah, that was a little bit brutal, and I'm sure now we're going to see pedal to the metal from Daniel Sharil to catch him back up, because you give even an inch and I'm sure Furusato will be happy to take a mile. But these guys as well have made up a bit of ground. Hamada's just lost out in that group after that just heading over track limits last time around, and then on the front straight obviously getting a little bit swamped by the guys just behind him. But Gun Mie as well, not made massive inroads to catch these guys up again yet after his excursion at turn 1. So we'll have to see though. There's still 7 laps to go, so there is time for the number 5 to get back in this podium battle.
Let's give them all a big pat on the back though, Fran, because this time a week ago, I don't know how many seconds Furusato was up the road, but it could have been at least about 9 or 10 by this point in the race, finishing it overall 16.6 seconds up the road. Remarkable stuff. So to keep him in check till this point in the game is still extremely impressive.
It is very much so, and yeah, obviously as well in the last sort of lap he slacked off a bit, so the maximum gap that he'd had ahead of the guys behind him was even bigger than I think it was over the finish line. But yeah, it's really good work from these guys, and Sharil doing a good tactical job of it as well, making sure he just stays with him and harries him a little bit, reminds him he's there, and now I'm sure we'll be eager he's not managed to get away too much, has Furusato. Shahril doing a good job of reeling him back in, and then on the start-finish straight, should have that slipstream to his advantage to stick with him again from turn 1 next time around.
I think the most fascinating part of the last couple of sectors has been that Daniel Shahril has managed to actually create some daylight between him and the pursuing guys as well. We saw Wakamatsu went up at the inside, I think, of Carter Thompson back maybe turns 4 and 5, but Daniel Shahril able to reel in Furusato once again, but also not bring the others with him. That's some pace he's carrying then.
Yeah, it most definitely is. You can see there he's pulling out there, but I don't think he'll make a move after what happened last time. I think he knows the stakes a bit high there if Furusato's going to be super aggressive, and there you can see, just
Hamada
sits into second. Hamada, mighty round turn 1 as ever. But yeah, this group then, they have a little bit of daylight, like you said. It's Rei Wakamatsu, Kanta Hamada, Carter Thompson and Hakeem Danish who are on this, in this fight for third at the moment. But yeah, they're not going to help each other if they keep battling like this, because the guys ahead, Furusato and Shahril.
Danish, that was a run and a half.
He was going for a 2 and 1 there.
Yeah, that was a run and a half, but blimey, he needed to work on his breaking point there. Must have had a bit of a dusty inside line for him to lose so much ground after what was going to look like a heck of an overtake up the inside of him there. But we're not mentioned Hakeem Danish for a few laps now. This is a really great ride already from 11th on the grid, even just to be within this leading group. And at one point even leading.
Yeah, it's good work from the Malaysian. Although I think it says a lot about the impression that he's already made in the ATC, that I was perfectly confident that he'd be in the podium battle even when he qualified 11th. Like, it didn't really cross my mind that it'd be more than just maybe a few laps of hard work.
Absolutely that. Rei Wakamatsu still holding firm in that third place from his fellow countryman Kanta Hamada, who, I remind you, did take a win here last year in that second race as Furusato led out that final corner and learned what the slipstream effect was all about.
And didn't lead over that final line.
No.
Yeah, so the preemptive drum mirror is what I'm going to call it now forever. But yeah, so I don't know, I think that gap's getting bigger. We'll have another look over this finish line when we get the gaps. The splits so far say it's got a little bit bigger.
Oh, who's that? Oh, that's
Saad Al-Haq, and then one of the local riders had a crash. Rider up and okay, which is the main thing, but yeah, that would be disappointing for him. We do have one more race tomorrow though, another crack at it tomorrow.
Quite right.
And some good race distance for a bit of data if the conditions don't change too much, although we all hope they will. Let's see then what we're going to get from the shuffle this time round.
Yeah, as they come over the line then, what is the gap to the chasers? The gap is now 1.6 seconds, and that was 1 lap ago 0.9 seconds. So Furusato and Shahril working in tandem beautifully, and there you go, fastest lap of the race, a 2:13.0. That is not quite near the pole position time from Furusato this morning, a 2:12.9, but it is getting there. So conditions improving for some of these guys, corner lap by lap, and that was Wakamatsu going extremely wide out of turn 2, giving Carter Thompson the opportunity to perhaps overtake him here into turn 4, but no.
No, I thought it was going to go for that as well. But yeah, last time around then, Shahril was 0.02 slower than Furusato. Those two guys were the quickest on track by some margin and split by almost nothing. I think this is going to be a great duel. What we're going to get at the replay here. Can anything spicy happen?
Out the inside, I suppose. Yeah.
I think it's a nice slow-mo of Furusato being his excellent self through turn 1, maybe. Yeah. Let's see.
But also got to say, Fran, Daniel Shahril, this is exactly what he would have been intending to do from the moment he came back to the Asia Talent Cup, starting this 2021 season. This is the sort of action he would have been thinking about from that hospital bed for as long as he was there, because, well, that's some determination to make it back here. We saw last time that he was quick enough to be within the battle, but now he's also quick enough to be potentially winning a race again. So, mission, well, one of the missions, many missions he'll have now achieved.
It's like, is he going to go for the full mission accomplished? But yeah, exactly. It's a great, great thing to see Daniel Shahril back where he is. Looks like it's a little bit more daylight behind Furusato now, though. But the two guys in the lead are only increasing that gap back to this fight for third at the moment. So at least there's no pressure from the guys behind him. But yeah, Furusato then, is this where he starts to get in the groove? I think the start-finish rate next time around will tell us a little bit. But these guys then, I think, are not giving up on getting in the battle for the win, but they seem to be squabbling a little bit more than they were before.
Yeah, they might not have much choice about giving up on the battle for the win. win as we come into 5 laps to go. This is then a really impressive ride from Furusato, perhaps even more so than before, as he clocks another fastest lap of the race, a near 2:13.000, as we have 4 abreast going into turn 1. Hamada has absolutely no regard for the front wheel of Carter Thompson then, as he dives up the inside for a potential 3rd place. But no, Gumbier has fully recovered from his turn 1 excursion several laps ago, now in the driving seat for 3rd place then. So Japanese rider leads the race, then a Malaysian rider is essentially sandwiched by 2 other Japanese riders. Could be 3 actually, that's Wakamatsu just behind them then.
Yeah, it is, so good showing for these guys. But so you saw the fastest lap come up, that's a 2:13.001. I'm afraid Shariel's was a little bit slower that time. It was a 0.186 slower than Furusato. Maybe it was a one-off, maybe he can gather it back together, but the time is ticking now for Daniel Shariel to really get back in touch with Furusato in the last few laps of this race.
Gotta say though, I mean, he'll be pretty miffed not having taken that winning return to action here, but still a podium within the 3rd race of his return at Asia Talent Cup action is something that he could be eventually very, very proud of indeed. Should he pull it off.
I think that in itself will be an emotional, incredible accomplishment. But I think as well the step forward from last weekend.
Yeah.
Now he's by far the closest challenger for a man who frankly smoked them all last weekend.
Yeah.
So he'll be very happy, I think, to have moved up the pecking order on take 2. Yeah, Hamada looking pretty keen to get past then compatriot Gunmie. But I don't know if we'll make it happen quite like that. These guys can be pretty aggressive. I think maybe for now the start-finish straight may be a bit of a safer option.
Yeah, it could well be, as Furusato heads up into turn 16 for one more run along the straight. This is a really impressive ride again then, because he did look like he got a bit shaken and stirred as he was punted back through the group as they caught him down the straight near the start of the race. But this sort of recovery job, picking everybody off, making his way back through, and look at that, complete opposite sides of the start and finish straight, and then it's still fending off Daniel Shariel, increasing his pace coming into these final few laps is very, very impressive indeed from Furusato. Looks like from one year to the next he's learned how to be a proper racer.
Yeah, definitely. Really impressive stuff from him, and like you say, really calm, and yeah, just doesn't seem to have been bothered by those earlier race kind of group fights that he got involved in last time around as well. Good news, Daniel Shariel was quicker by about half a tenth, but he was the quicker of the 2 leaders, which is good news. And Hakeem Danish was even quicker than both of them. So these guys have suddenly really pulled the pin.
Yeah, and you can really see as well the difference in top speeds as well. We can see it on our timing screens that these guys coming across the start and finish straight with only 2 riders working together for the slipstream. It's around about 200 kilometers an hour maximum, but the rider behind, well, Carter Thompson came across the line with 208 kilometers an hour.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it really does show it could be a real duel to the line. Look at this, Fran. Daniel Shariel keeping him just about in check, keeping the pressure on that Furusato cannot let off in these final, now 2.5 laps.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. He did do a very good job last time around. Yeah, like we said, going a little bit quicker than Furusato, but the Japanese rider seems to have answered back again on this lap. So I don't know. He's not going to be able to make a move from that distance on the final lap, I don't think. So he will need to carry on that job of trying to reel him in nice and slowly.
He is. He's definitely closer, visibly closer this time around. Just don't want to also draw your attention to 3rd place at the moment, Carter Thompson. Fran, as the expert on Asia Talent Cup, would this be Carter Thompson's first podium in the Asia Talent Cup?
I'm not sure, actually. I think it may be.
Could well be.
You're asking me now for 2019 memories. Come on,
apologies. Yeah, well,
he was very close last weekend though, because he got a 4th place in race 1, and he'd be very happy with that, I'm sure, because had really good progress with Carter Thompson showing, especially in 2019, and really coming up, like started with some points, then a bit further forward, then in the top 10, and then unfortunately, obviously, with the COVID-19 pandemic last year, didn't get to see if he'd do that again. But this is a really good showing. I will double check it though. I don't want to get off the fence.
Sorry for putting you on the spot there. But as we turn our attention to the penultimate lap, look at this as the lights have come on. There's everybody home watching this one. It's Daniel Shariel versus Furusato. He's reeled him back in once again, and that, well, the lap times. Oh, that's Furusato. That's a mistake. And Shariel is in the lead once again. A big mistake into turn 2. That was unexpected and also kind of a bizarre. It's almost like he let him through, but I shouldn't think so. I mean, It's an impossibility,
I shouldn't
surely.
think so, given how confident he's been leading lap after lap after lap here at Losail.
No way.
I'm sure that was a mistake, but a very interesting one, and I think, yeah, Shahril will be very happy to have seen that. Not only has he got a few meters back, but he's also seen that, yeah, if he keeps chipping away, maybe there are a few chinks in the armour of Furusato after all.
Oh, he's right back on his rear wheel, though, so this is not going to be over until the Fat Lady sings, until the checker flag comes out at the finish line here in a lap and a half to go. Carter Thompson holding firm in third place now as we're on these with a real fast and flowing section. Here's a replay of what happened, but did the front end tuck or anything? I couldn't quite see. No, it didn't seem to make any kind of twitches, but there goes Shahril like a rat up a drain pipe. No problem for him. He doesn't need a second invitation whatsoever. Let's get all the cliches out of the way, talking about this final near penultimate lap battle.
You're gonna love it.
The final sort of sector here, the triple right-hander, turns 12, 13 and 14. Maybe that goes to show still the gust of wind can catch anybody out, even arguably the best rider in the field at the moment, even Furusato as well. Coming towards turn 15, the penultimate corner on the penultimate lap, then we have ourselves a showdown once again in the Asia Talent Cup at the Qatar circuit here. It's good to be back, well and truly.
I've done something terrible with Carter Thompson, and I've confused him with a compatriot.
Ah, well, never mind, never mind.
Apologies
it's absolutely
to the
okay.
nation of Australia.
Furusato looks up the inside of Shahril. They're now neck and neck coming down the start and finish straight. He retakes the lead into that final corner as I think Shahril is doing a dummy run. He wants to see if he comes out that final corner in second place, can he take the victory? Quite possibly so, but I don't think we can get enough information for that.
No, it's half a tenth that time.
We can't make a definitive answer there. We just got to wait and see. Carter Thompson, though, still holding firm in third place. The Pocket Rocket Aussie on course, perhaps, for his first Asia Talent Cup podium. But let's focus on these guys. This was the scene of the near accident 1 lap ago. Tayo Furusato nearly going down, perhaps, at turn 2. But Shahril right on his rear wheel. He's got a whole country behind him now. All of Malaysia on their feet, willing this man to victory here in the Asia Talent Cup.
Yeah, we're gonna, I don't know, do you think the move's gonna come early? Do you think the move's gonna come late?
Not a clue. I mean, I barely know with Moto3 riders, let alone hot-headed Asia Talent Cup riders.
It's difficult, I think, because Shahril will know that maybe...
Oh, it's another
Furusato.
mistake! Another mistake into turn 6 that time around, and once again, he doesn't need a second invitation, but what will he decide coming into the final corner, turn 16? Shahril, will he want to lead onto that start and finish straight? Who knows? Their top speeds were basically neck and neck last time around.
Yeah, I really don't know. This is hard to call now, isn't it? Was that a mistake? It certainly looked like one. I don't think he was letting him through. And Furusato then also looking eager to take it back. Does he want to lead out the final corner, knowing that he did manage to keep it last time around?
That was a very wide exit from Shahril. He maybe goes a little bit too wide, messes up his run. Furusato back into the lead now, heading into 12, 13 and 14, that little complex. So you could see he tried to emulate the line of Furusato, carry the corner speed out, but he had too much. He's right back on his tail now. This is going to be a real nail-biter to the line.
It really is. This is getting close now. I absolutely love these classic duels. These two guys have really been going at it all race long. They've managed to pull such a gap out on the rest of the field as well. Who is going to do what as we get on to the last few corners of this lap?
There is only one rider here in this duel riding with all heart, though, and that is Daniel Shahril. He wants that winning return to the Asia Talent Cup. Furusato goes wide into turn 16, tries to get a run onto the start and finish straight, so it's about the slipstream once again. Will Shahril do it? I think he's too far away. He might not do it. Let's see about the slipstream. Will it be a photo finish? Oh, Furusato, is he going to take it? Yes, he does. He reigns supreme still. And what about this? Thompson over the line, Gun Mie over the line. Who is it? Who don't know? Who was it? It was Mie. He takes another podium. What a race here in the Asia Talent Cup. Minor heartbreak, I'll say, long-term for Shahril, as he doesn't yet get that winning return. Thank you very much, Fran, for joining me once again. See you and hear you on the podium. But Furusato reigning supreme once again. That is extremely impressive. He can win in any kind of circumstance. He can run away and he can battle with the best of them right to the line as well. Goodness me. What a ride that was.
Yeah, that was some really impressive stuff then from both of them. But Furusato, 3 wins out of 3 so far here at Losail. Pretty incredible. I did check that stat I said last time, which was that Jan Onju did win all 4 races at Sepang a few years ago. So Furusato can equal that if he does it again tomorrow. But I'm sure Sharil will put up another incredible fight.
Yeah, absolutely no doubt about that whatsoever. Rei Wakamatsu then took the 4th position finish. Carter Thompson, after absolutely nailing the drive out of the final corner for several laps at a time, got absolutely mugged at the end there, shaking his head coming across the line to finish 5th. Then you had Kanta Hamada and Hakim Danish finishing 6th and 7th. Is this a replay as they come to the line? This was the 3rd place finish then. Poor Carter Thompson, the pocket rocket, needs a bit of a boost next time around though. A shake of the fist, poor lad. Well, he'll get another opportunity at that, absolutely no doubt. What a finish that was. Classic Asia Talent Cup racing here at the Losail International Circuit. It is great to be back, properly back, with a proper duel at the finish. Goodness me, I can't wait to see the reactions in Parc Ferme. Having quite subdued, almost formulaic and rather casual the last couple of times, but that would have been a very emotionally charged race finish between the 2 main contenders there. And that was, yeah, well, could this be the moment, but not really, that Daniel Sharil lost the race, trying to carry too much speed on the exit of turn 10 on the run into turn 11 onto the Supercross whoop section like curves there. Furusato said, see ya. This was the finish then from Furusato. That one probably meant a heck of a lot, even more than that race win a week ago. Here he comes then into pit lane, into Parc Ferme. Your race winner once again, 3 from 3, 75 points for Taio Furusato. Hearing rumours in the Asia Talent Cup paddock, he is a very, very well-respected individual already, particularly by Alberto Puig. Lots of people have very high hopes for this young man, and with these sorts of results, I think you can understand why, can't you? What about Daniel Sharil? You got to say exactly the same about him as well. That return to the Asia Talent Cup podium. A big smile on the face of Furusato. Says no to a drink. Mate, you've just been riding through a near sandstorm. And look at that as well. There you go, that's some humility for you there. Gets off the bike, immediately helps his mechanic put the bike on its stand as well. Needs must. A big butt pat there from Hiroshi Oyama. Daniel Sharil gets a big thumbs up from Alberto Puig as well as he enters Parc Ferme once again in an Asia Talent Cup race. And Gun Mie next to him as well. Brilliant, brilliant stuff here. That's why we love the Asia Talent Cup. Bit of heartbreak for the Malaysian fans, but they can definitely be proud of their man there. And if you're a Japanese MotoGP fan, hoping to see more names come to rival that, such as Taka Nakagami in the MotoGP category, I think it's safe to say that the future of Japan in the MotoGP World Championship is fairly secure, with names such as Taio Furusato, Gun Mie, Kanta Hamada coming through. Well then, and Rei Wakamatsu as well. Final results then, Taio Furusato takes the win by a single 1/10 of a second from Daniel Sharil. Gun Mie a further 4 seconds back, completing the podium. Rei Wakamatsu, Carter Thompson, Kanta Hamada and Hakim Danish, they're leading that. Finishing off that leading group, 7th spot for him. Fadila Aditama, the Indonesian rider, top Indonesian rider here in the Asia Talent Cup today. 8th place finish for him from Tom Drain, another Aussie there. And another one, Marianos Nicolas, is 10th place from Fujita Hongo. Dandy Sharil, unable to improve on that 13th start place on the grid earlier on. 4 DNFs as well here today. So thankfully all riders up and okay. Apologies for my hesitance there. I think the dust is starting to get into the commentary booth as well, as I nearly had to sneeze. What does that do to the championship then? Nothing in terms of the changing the leader. Taifo Risato, 75 points of 75. 47 points has Gun Mie, 28 points back from the leader. Kim Danish moves down 1 place with 41 points to his name. Kanta Hamada and Daniel Sharil complete the top 5. Moving up 2 spots is the Malaysian rider. So Japanese, Malaysian, Aussie then behind them in the standings, with Carter Thompson there in 6th place from Ray Wakamatsu behind him. Sharil moves down a few places as well. Crikey. How's the heart rate looking for myself as a commentator? Got up to highs of 100 during that race, so goes to show the excitement that this Sterling Championship brings. And with the sun going down, we get ready for qualifying in all the Grand Prix classes as well. So if you are watching on any of the social media channels, so subscribe to MotoGP.com, get ready for those as we celebrate another podium here in the Asia Talent Cup. Gun Mie, 3rd place. 2nd place, an emotional return to an Asia Talent Cup podium. Daniel Sharil, but look at that, he can win by running away with it. He can win battling to the line now as well. Taio Furusato, remember that name. And how about this then? Before he gets ready for qualifying this afternoon, Ai Ogura, I think it is, did I hear him say? Yes it is, it's Ai himself, handing out the trophies to the podium finishers. A big smile from Daniel Sharil as well, understandably so. And even though he's got his mask on, I'm sure there is none bigger smile than that on Razdan Razali's face as well. Time for Risato. Made a joke about his, he's going to need a bigger luggage space. But anyway, so let's listen to his national anthem. Excellent stuff. I guess that was the national anthem finish. I'm not sure anyone could hear that. I couldn't hear it in my headset at all, but there we are. Here are the highlights then from the first race of round 2 in the Asia Talent Cup. Well, it looked like a fairly uniform start for Taio Furusato, but from there on in, it was anything but, with Daniel Sharil chasing him down into that first corner. And then he really stuck with him for the remainder of the race pretty much, although they did get involved in a monumental battle within the top 7. But here was one of the first crash that we saw. 2 riders coming together at turn 4. That will be investigated after the race. Hopping mad was the local rider, unfortunately. However, it was all about that battle towards the front. Taio Furusato getting pushed around all over the place. Carter Thompson, Gun Mie looking for the lead, and Kanta Hamada still perfecting that line around turn 1. Extremely impressive. This was an unfortunate crash for the number 19, crashing out of action there. Fortunately okay as well. But then that group of 7 seemed to split as Sharil and Furusato made their way out the front of the field. He didn't have it all his own way though, even though it was 75 points from 75. This was the first of one of the mistakes Furusato made, letting Sharil through. But then this was the final lap, heading into the final sectors, and that run to the line, Furusato took victory once again, 3 from 3 in the 2021 Asia Talent Cup. This was a battle for the podium. Gun Mie coming out on top of that one as well. Everyone else gets another try at it tomorrow. Don't go anywhere, because qualifying action for the Losail International Circuit will be back tomorrow for race 2 of round 2. See you then.